For nearly 1,000 years, the Galactic Dominion believed one simple truth. No civilization could stand against overwhelming numbers. Whenever a world refused to surrender, the Dominion didn't negotiate. It erased them. Their strategy had never failed. 1,000 ships crushed small empires. 10,000 ships ended rebellions. 50,000 warships. That was reserved for civilizations marked for extinction. And today, that fleet was heading toward Earth. From the command bridge of the Dominion flagship Eclipse Eternal, Supreme Fleet Marshal Zareth stared at the glowing blue planet displayed before him. A tiny world. Isolated. Primitive, at least by galactic standards. Its people had refused every demand, ignored every ultimatum, and rejected every offer of surrender. To Zareth, humanity's resistance wasn't bravery. It was ignorance. They still refuse to kneel? He asked calmly. An officer nodded. Yes, Marshal. Their final transmission has arrived. Play it. The bridge fell silent. The human message echoed across the enormous command deck. This is the United Terran Defense Command. If your fleet enters Sol space, you will not leave. For a brief moment, silence. Then the bridge exploded with laughter. Officers leaned against consoles. Even veteran admirals couldn't stop smiling. One planet, threatening 50,000 Dominion warships. Zareth chuckled before shaking his head. Record everything. I want the entire galaxy to witness humanity's final mistake. The Dominion fleet accelerated. Thousands upon thousands of warships darkened the stars. Carrier groups, planet killers, siege dreadnoughts, orbital annihilators. The largest invasion force in recorded galactic history. Across nearby systems, neutral civilizations watched through long-range observatories. Trade alliances, merchant clans, ancient empires. Everyone expected the same outcome. Earth would fall within hours. Some estimated minutes. Meanwhile, deep beneath the Himalayas, more than 5 kilometers below solid rock, a blast door larger than a mountain slowly opened for the first time in centuries. Dust rolled across forgotten corridors. Emergency lights flickered to life. Ancient machines awakened one by one. Massive reactors began humming beneath layers of reinforced alloy. Inside a chamber so enormous that entire cities could fit within it, something moved. Not a ship. Not a station. Something far larger. An old technician stood silently before a massive control console. His trembling hand rested on a single activation key. He whispered words no human had spoken for over 300 years. Authorization. Titan Protocol. A calm artificial voice answered. Identity confirmed. Terran War Titan program reactivated. Throughout the underground complex, warning sirens echoed endlessly. Gigantic magnetic locks disengaged. Fusion cores ignited. Thousands of forgotten defense systems came online. Military officers arriving at the facility stopped walking as a colossal hologram appeared above the command center. Everyone stared upward. Some had believed the stories were myths. Others thought the project had been destroyed long ago. They were all wrong. The hologram displayed only one name. TWE-01. Aegis. Humanity's last weapon. Its first war titan. Above Earth, the Dominion fleet crossed the edge of the solar system. 50,000 alien warships advanced in perfect formation. Marshal Zareth smiled. The battle will be over before sunset. But far below Earth's surface, the mountain itself began to shake. Something unimaginably massive was preparing to rise. Across the solar system, alarms echoed through every Terran defense station. Civilian transports fled toward underground shelters. Orbital defense platforms powered up. Fighter squadrons launched in endless waves. Yet every commander knew the truth. Against 50,000 Dominion warships, none of it would be enough. Admiral Ethan Hayes stood inside Earth's Unified Defense Command, watching the tactical display. Thousands of red symbols flooded the screen, representing the invading fleet. They'll reach firing range in 23 minutes, an officer reported. Hayes remained calm. Begin Phase 1. The order spread instantly across humanity's military. Not to attack. To survive. Meanwhile, beneath the Himalayas, the ancient mountain shook with increasing violence. Massive blast doors, each hundreds of meters thick, slowly separated. Superheated steam burst into the frozen air as forgotten reactors reached full power. Deep inside the colossal chamber, a gigantic silhouette emerged from the darkness. The Terran war titan, Aegis. Nearly 12 kilometers long, Aegis was unlike any battleship the galaxy had ever imagined. It wasn't built merely to fight fleets. It had been designed to end wars before they truly began. Its white titanium ceramic armor gleamed beneath awakening lights. Tower-sized plasma cannons rotated into position. Thousands of missile silos unlocked simultaneously. Blue energy veins spread across the hull like lightning racing beneath metal. For centuries, the Titan had slept. Now, it opened its eyes. A brilliant blue light ignited across the command bridge. An ancient artificial intelligence awakened. Core systems online. Weapon arrays, operational. Shield generators, stable. Combat readiness, 100%. The old technician smiled through tears. "Welcome back, old friend." The AI paused for a brief moment before replying. "Threat assessment?" The holographic display instantly filled with red markers. Enemy vessels detected, 50,000. A short silence followed. Then the AI answered with chilling confidence. "Acceptable." Far above Earth, Marshal Zareth watched humanity's defensive fleet assembling near the moon. Barely 300 ships. He laughed. "So this is Earth's final stand?" The Dominion fleet slowed only long enough to form attack formations. Thousands of weapon batteries charged together. The light from 50,000 plasma cannons illuminated space itself. Nearby civilizations watched in horror. This is genocide. No one survives that. Humanity is finished. Back on Earth, Admiral Hayes received a secure transmission. Only 2 words appeared on his screen. "Titan ready." For the first time since the invasion began. He smiled. "Open the launch corridor." Across the Himalayas, mountains split apart. Entire cliffs collapsed outward as hidden launch rails extended toward the sky. Citizens hundreds of kilometers away looked up in disbelief. The Earth itself seemed to open. A pillar of blue energy erupted into the heavens. With a thunderous roar that echoed across continents, the Terran war titan rose from beneath the planet. Clouds were torn apart by its ascent. Its enormous engines ignited, leaving rivers of brilliant blue light across the sky. Every human watching, from cities, shelters, and orbit, fell silent. No one had ever seen it before. Many hadn't believed it existed. Even the Dominion sensors froze for several seconds. Marshal Zareth's confident smile disappeared. "What is that?" Before anyone could answer, the AI aboard Aegis locked onto every Dominion vessel simultaneously. A calm voice echoed across all Terran channels. "Terran war titan Aegis has entered the battlefield. Mission objective." A brief pause. Then one final sentence chilled every listener in the galaxy. "Eliminate the invasion fleet." The moment the Terran war titan Aegis entered orbit, the battlefield fell into complete silence. For the first time in centuries, 50,000 Dominion warships stopped advancing. Marshal Zareth stared at the tactical display. The unknown vessel dwarfed every battleship in his fleet. It wasn't simply large, it was colossal, stretching across space like a moving fortress. "Scan that ship," he ordered. Every sensor array locked onto Aegis. The results appeared one by one. Hull composition, unknown. Energy signature, beyond measurable limits. Shield output, impossible to calculate. Estimated threat level, The bridge officers exchanged nervous glances. Computers never failed. Yet every Dominion system refused to analyze the Titan. Zareth clenched his fists. "No ship is invincible. Fire a warning volley." Within seconds, thousands of Dominion cannons discharged at once. The darkness of space vanished beneath rivers of crimson plasma. Missiles accelerated at impossible speeds. Particle lances sliced across the void. More than 200,000 weapons raced toward a single target. Across the galaxy, billions watched the live transmission. This is it. The human ship won't survive. It can't. The barrage slammed into Aegis with the force of collapsing moons. Space itself flashed white. The explosion expanded for thousands of kilometers. Shockwaves rippled through nearby asteroid fields. For several seconds, nothing could be seen. The Dominion bridge erupted in celebration. Marshal Zareth smiled again. I told you, everything can be destroyed. But then, the smoke began to fade. Aegis was still there. Not a single armor plate had been damaged. Its brilliant blue shields shimmered gently before fading as though brushing away dust. Silence consumed the Dominion flagship. One officer whispered in disbelief. Impossible! Another checked the sensors again. Shield integrity. He froze. 100%. Not 99. Not 98. 100%. The entire Dominion fleet had failed to scratch the Titan. Across Earth, cheers erupted. People embraced in streets, shelters, and command bunkers. For the first time since the invasion began, hope returned. Inside Aegis, the ancient AI spoke calmly. Enemy attack analyzed. Threat level, negligible. Admiral Hayes couldn't help but smile. Return fire. The AI acknowledged instantly. Primary weapon authorization accepted. Deep within the Titan, gigantic energy conduits awakened. Fusion reactors poured unimaginable power toward the bow. The main cannon slowly unfolded from inside the ship's armored hull. It was larger than entire Dominion cruisers. Blue-white energy spiraled around its focusing rings. Nearby human ships automatically backed away as gravity itself began bending around the weapon. Dominion sensors screamed warnings. Marshal Zareth's face turned pale. What weapon requires that much energy? No one answered. Because no one knew. The AI spoke one final sentence. Firing Judgment Lance. A single beam of blinding blue light erupted from Aegis. There was no explosion. No dramatic blast. Only a perfectly straight column of energy crossing space faster than thought. Everything in its path simply disappeared. The beam pierced the heart of the Dominion formation, slicing through thousands of warships as though they were made of paper. Battleships, carriers, dreadnoughts, planet killers. Gone in an instant. When the beam finally faded, an enormous empty corridor stretched across the enemy fleet. More than 8,000 Dominion warships had vanished. From a single shot. The battlefield was silent. Marshal Zareth slowly looked at the casualty report appearing before him. His hands began to shake. For the first time in his military career, he felt fear. And the War Titan had only fired once. The galaxy had witnessed countless battles. Ancient empires had risen and fallen. Superweapons had been created and destroyed. But nothing in recorded history compared to what happened above Earth. A single Terran War Titan had erased thousands of warships with one attack. Across every civilization watching the battle, the same question echoed. What exactly is humanity? The Dominion fleet, once considered unstoppable, had become frozen. 50,000 ships. The largest invasion force ever assembled. Now surrounded by silence. Marshal Zareth stared at the tactical screen. The numbers kept changing. Losses confirmed. 8,412 warships destroyed. And the enemy had not even moved. Impossible, he whispered. His officers remained silent. They had no explanation. No strategy. No answer. For centuries, the Dominion had been the predator of the galaxy. But now, they had discovered something worse. A species that had been hiding its teeth. Zareth quickly regained his composure. All fleets advance. The command officers looked shocked. Marshal, we still outnumber them. He pointed toward the massive red formation surrounding Earth. One ship cannot defeat 50,000. His voice became colder. Overwhelm it. The order was transmitted. The Dominion fleet moved. Thousands of carriers released millions of fighters. Heavy dreadnoughts charged their main cannons. Siege vessels prepared planet-killing weapons. The entire fleet attacked together. It was a wave of destruction unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Millions of missiles. Billions of energy rounds. Entire squadrons of attack ships. All heading toward one target. The Terran War Titan. Inside Aegis, human commanders watched the approaching storm. Admiral Hayes looked at the display. "Can we stop that?" The AI answered immediately. "Correction. They cannot approach." Suddenly, the Titan changed. Hidden sections of its enormous hull opened. Thousands of defensive systems emerged. Automated plasma turrets. Energy interceptors. Drone launch bays. Ancient weapons humanity had built before leaving the old wars behind. The space around Aegis became a wall of fire. Every incoming missile was destroyed. Every fighter squadron was eliminated. Every attack wave disappeared before reaching the Titan. The Dominion had expected a battle. Instead, they found a fortress. A machine designed to survive the end of worlds. But then, the Dominion revealed their final weapon. From the center of their formation, a massive ship moved forward. The Oblivion-class planet breaker. A weapon feared by every civilization. It carried enough energy to destroy entire planets. Marshal Zareth smiled. "If the Titan refuses to fall, destroy the world behind it." The weapon began charging. Across Earth, warning systems activated. Everyone understood what was happening. The Dominion wasn't trying to win anymore. They were willing to sacrifice their entire fleet just to destroy humanity. Admiral Hayes looked toward the Titan's command display. "Can we stop that weapon?" For several seconds, the AI remained silent. The new target identified. Oblivion-class planet breaker. Threat level, significant. The officers looked surprised. For the first time, the AI had acknowledged a threat. The Titan's engines ignited. The massive warship moved forward. Not quickly. Not desperately. Calmly. Like a predator approaching its prey. The Dominion fleet watched as Aegis entered the center of the battlefield alone. Then the AI delivered a message across every communication channel. Humanity has given warnings. Humanity has shown restraint. Now, humanity responds. The Titan's main weapon began charging again. But this time, it wasn't aiming at the fleet. It was aiming at the weapon that could destroy Earth. The entire galaxy waited. Because everyone knew. The next shot would decide the fate of civilization. The entire galaxy watched in complete silence. The Dominion's Oblivion-class planet breaker continued charging. A weapon created from centuries of conquest. A weapon that had destroyed dozens of worlds. Its energy core reached maximum power. The target was locked. Millions of humans looked toward the sky, knowing that one mistake could end everything. But between the planet and destruction stood one ship. The Terran War Titan Aegis. Alone. Unmoving. Unbreakable. Inside the Titan's command bridge, Admiral Ethan Hayes watched the enemy weapon grow brighter. "How much time?" The AI responded instantly. "Planetary destruction sequence will complete in 30 seconds. The officers exchanged nervous looks. 30 seconds. The Dominion fleet still surrounded them. Thousands of ships prepared to attack. The situation seemed impossible. But humanity had never survived because things were easy. Humanity survived because it refused to surrender. Admiral Hayes looked at the enormous holographic image of Earth. Cities. Oceans. Millions of lives. Everything they had fought to protect. Then he gave the order. "End this." The AI answered. Final Judgment Protocol activated. Across Aegis, ancient systems awakened. Weapons that had remained silent for hundreds of years came online. The Titan's armor shifted. Massive energy chambers opened across its hull. The entire ship began glowing like a newborn star. Dominion sensors immediately detected the change. Warnings appeared on every bridge. Unknown energy spike detected. Critical threat detected. Marshal Zareth stared at the readings. No. For the first time, he understood. The Titan wasn't fighting a war. It was ending one. "All ships retreat," he ordered. But it was already too late. The judgment lance fired. A beam of pure Terran energy crossed the battlefield. Unlike the first shot, this one did not cut through the fleet. It moved directly toward the Oblivion-class weapon. The Dominion tried everything. Shields activated. Defense systems fired. Escort ships sacrificed themselves. Nothing mattered. The beam reached the planet breaker. For a moment, everything stopped. The impossible happened. The weapon disappeared. Not destroyed. Not damaged. Erased. The explosion that followed consumed the surrounding Dominion ships. Thousands of warships vanished instantly. The shockwave spread through the battlefield. When the light faded, the Dominion fleet was broken. Out of 50,000 warships, only a fraction remained. The unstoppable invasion force was gone. The galaxy had witnessed something no one believed possible. A single Terran war titan had defeated an entire armada. Marshal Zareth stared at the empty space where his greatest weapon had been. His empire had conquered civilizations for 1,000 years. But they had never faced humanity. A species that turned survival into strength. A species that built weapons not to conquer, but to protect. The Dominion fleet finally retreated. Not because they were ordered, because they were afraid. Years later, historians would record that day as the moment the galaxy changed forever. The day 50,000 alien warships entered human space. And only a few escaped. The day every civilization learned one unforgettable lesson. Never underestimate humanity. Because behind every quiet planet, behind every peaceful civilization, there may be a sleeping giant waiting for the moment it must awaken. And when humanity's final weapon rises, the universe listens.